Hey, good evening, everybody. Just wanted to show you another quick YouTube video since I'm playing around with this new program. This is actually what you're seeing right here is the RTS program, and it is the system. I'm just playing it and running it, and boom, the program is complete. Now you might like, what the heck? That's all the system is basically at this point. But as you can see, it goes through quite a bit of data. There's calculates the horsepower per ton, all the different car types. I've highlighted the 10 at the top left-hand corner, representing September 10th. But everything pretty much is automated to create out-of-way bills. It has the order of the cars. It has all those particular trains, as far as, and that's pretty much the program. Of course, it's going to expand a switch list and a few other things. But as you can see, going into my routes folder, because this is where it would happen, where it will actually save, and it saves on multiple routes. It does more than 2 routes, whatever routes you define. You can see all the RTS file names, and the routes are actually in there in the particular folders, so you can go ahead and basically run whatever it is you're looking for as far as new files and everything. But that's pretty much the nut and bolts of what's going on right now. I'll just show you here different things. I generate currently 24 hours worth of trains that source out. Eventually it will contain switch lists. As you can see, those little yellow areas are the switching areas. Those will eventually have switch lists, etc. But you can see I'm highlighting the different links. You can see there's not 80 of them right now, and the reason being is I focus for 8 hours of data. And if it's not scheduled, or if it's already arrived, or basically it'll not allow you to get the link. If it's not scheduled for that day, it might even generate a train even though it's not scheduled for that day and never actually uses it. But that's pretty much the gist of it. How I go about actually taking the data is really simple too, because I just go over to my my box account and go into the download section, and you can see that each file name has like a V beside it for version. So every time I go in here, all I do is highlight the train files. And it's a simple matter of cut and paste. There's 70, I don't know what it says, 73 for the needle sub right now has the majority of the stuff. Well, however, I don't have that much yet. That's still a lot more to come. So that starts BNSF Bakersfield trains, so I still have quite a bit, but just like that, it's just updating new versions of each one. And I usually do that around 4 o'clock in the morning around this time. It's 4:04 right now, so take 4 hours, 12 hours behind, and then you got a new day's. So any train that gets downloaded after midnight, excuse me, will have -10 on it. So anyways, that's basically the generation I wanted to. If you hear my voice changing every now and then, it's because I'm doing constant editing of the voice over the original video. It takes a lot longer to actually edit anything. This is again going back into the receiving area of Barstow. I'm showing you first train in the foreground. There's the Boron local. There's a few other cuts of cars that are not identified, and there's another one that was heading westbound from Tulsa a little bit further. Again, a lot of this is all random. If you're going to take, say, a train out off the main line, you just have you can set the switches, or if you feel uncomfortable, you can just get look for a yard master on duty, or and if he's on duty like myself, or you know, someone who's familiar with helping you out with the yards, they can help you get in and out of the yard. And so heading back over, I think, yeah, that's where we're going. See that cut of cars there, the departure yard. Now that departure yard is starting to build trains. And over on the right hand side, what you don't see is what is supposed to be a hump yard. Those two trains there, you saw in the previous tutorials, one's an intermodal that's in the inspection, one's the auto rack that I brought in from earlier today. But eventually what I was supposed to get going was the virtual hump. This here is the old yard. And what the old yard is normally used for storage. To get an idea of the logistics and everything, what you see here on every track represents an outbound train. And when they say old yard, from what I understand, before the hump yard was in place, this was a yard that they used to use for switching out trains. And now it's more why it's old, because it's the storage, and you know, modern day they use a hump yard to sort everything. So you know, once again, those are the two trains here that I showed you before, but we're heading over to the west side because I want to show you what is really short run, and believe it or not, there's going to be quite a few of these trains. I've done them last because they're not as interesting, but I'm starting to research some of them, such as the Dago, which you might have heard. Most trains that head out of Barstow or go from Barstow to, say, San Diego or Watson, and vice versa, they're not going to be short runs until Cajon Sub comes out. However, as far as the system goes, I'm going to need those trains. I'm going to need all those trains, and the Cajon Sub is going to be used because it is, without it, Barstow is not nearly as busy as it should be. This is the Victorville local, and it's one of the few trains that actually, sorry, I shouldn't say that. It's a train that doesn't spawn on the opposite track. If you were just heading down the main line, you'd spawn closer up towards the bridge. This one spawns further back, and the reason why it has to spawn further back is so that it comes up here. I'm going to turn around, catch my breath here for a minute. Because I realized as I was recording this, I was like, oh, well, I got to delete this train if I'm going to show you, because I don't want to leave it here. So anyways, delete the train. Very short run. Watch this. You keep going this way. Now had you turn left, you'd go on to the other side of the Y. Only a couple trains do that, but you take that left switch right there, head underneath the underpass, and in you go, and you're into Barstow Yard. If you're heading the other way to Cajon Sub from Barstow Yard, you'd come out of the departure yard over on the left hand side, but it's just a matter of setting up your switches. So I'll show you a few other spawns here that actually generate on the right hand track, right hand running, as opposed to the other track that local just did. By the way, that local actually originates in Victorville, comes back in with loaded cement cars, and then it brings back empties back out to Victorville, and that's the whole run. So kind of a neat little difference of a run. Sort of like if you're used to the old RTS system back in the spring and prior. I'm not too sure what intermodal train that was. NWO, I think, is destination. But anyways, yeah, LAC NWO. But this is typically, I would say, I don't know, 70%, maybe 80% of the trains are going to be intermodal trains. And I did those first. Those were the first ones that I, because they were easy. I didn't have to change car types. All I had to do was randomly select different cars. Now you see the UP engine, and the reason why I'm focusing on this is I wanted to explain a little something about why that UP engine is there. Because it's not BNSF and it's a rarity, 3 out of every 100 would call either a UP, an NS, or the CSX engine. The reason why I haven't done the UP trains yet is because I have to change the programming so that the UP trains actually call the BNSF once in a while. But for now I'm doing BNSF, I just deleted that for now. Other than that, yeah, the 3 BNSF engines, 1 out of 30, end up calling whatever form of BNSF engine, and eventually I'll have to figure out some rarities for SDs and a few other things as things get changed. So go out to a couple of the trains there just to show you, and this is a matter of looking at the call list first. You can either look at the call list and see what's currently going on. Is probably the best bet. We go onto the website, check to see what's going on, see where that train is headed to, and look there, another manifest train, just stow bars. So if that's a manifest for the RTS system. I know in real life the intermodals are the most important trains, and they are, and we treat them as that way as far as priority goes. However, as far as the RTS system is, the manifest trains are what really make the operations cool because of all the switching, industry switching. We got industry set up, and you saw Boron Local earlier. We're starting to get that online because that's one of the first ones. Cadiz turn is going to be another one that we get going, and eventually all the old Bakersfield stuff's going to be in there. So as you see, I mean, there's nothing, it's kind of repeating the same thing, different colors, different cars and everything. Again, they're all based off different actual waybills. So not too much more to say. I'm probably dragging this out a little bit longer than necessary. So, but there you see Bakersfield. You see how empty it is right now. Those of you who are old hands that have been onto the RTS before know that Bakersfield yards are busy because Bakersfield had all the switching going on to Edison, and UP Mojave was a busy yard. That's all coming back slowly, and we're not there yet. I'm working my way from Barstow. I want to get all of the interchanges in place first, so I'm going to restore the ambiance back to its normal dark where you can't see a damn thing. These signals are cool. But anyways, that's about it. I'm going to play the signals to close this video, and with Doc's new upgrade, look at that, how it shines on the track, and you can see it from a long way away. If you haven't got it, go to Run A Depot and or Train Sim and download that. But yeah, that's about it. If you have any questions, comments, like this video, let me know. And if there's anything that I haven't covered, eventually I'll get into switch lists and all kinds of other things. Right now, the old switch lists, you can see them in the report section. They are going to change quite a bit in the new system, and it's going to be a lot more user-friendly. And that's the whole key here. I want to make it easy for people. Anyways, we'll talk to you again. Have a good one.